The Eastern Japan Rookie King Tournament, a tournament where the future of Japanese and, hell, maybe even world-level boxing can be decided. One thing especially noteworthy about this saga of the show is that it introduces so many prodigies, so many great boxers, only for them to never really live up to their initial hype. And perhaps the best example of this would come in the form of Jason Ozma. Jason Ozma was a very interesting opponent for Ippo early on. Up to this point, Ippo was tough enough to take some hits. He was durable and strong enough to survive most exchanges and come out the victor. But Ozma was just different. He had power on par, if not better than Ippo. He seemed to be the more well-rounded boxer at points. But his ultimate weapon was his killer hook. This guy had a hook so mean and so devastating that it hospitalized a sparring partner. Even if Ozma didn't win the tournament, this guy probably would have gotten far, and he clearly had a very bright future in boxing. Unfortunately for him, he went up against the main character Ippo. And to give Ozma credit, he nearly won. But Ippo had trained his ass off to get past that hook. And Ippo has a next level amount of determination to win. Ippo could simply just take more. And despite all the damage that Ippo took, he realized he was doing serious damage to Ozma with the body blows. And when Ippo dodged Ozma's last hook, that kinda sealed the deal. Ippo landed another powerful body blow, which I like to believe is the exact moment this man's hopes of being a great boxer ended. And after a few more punches, this guy just went straight to the mat. And during this fight, Jason Ozma sustained serious spine damage, which pretty much ended his career. I believe he had one more match that he won by KO, but it was never the same. That's gonna wrap up this video, but expect more Hajime no Ippo videos in the future. In my first video on Hajime no Ippo, we covered Jason Ozma, the first opponent of Ippo in the Eastern Japan Rookie King Tournament. But while Ozma is a great boxer in his own right, he is kind of the opposite of Ippo's next opponent in this tournament. Ozma had the natural raw ability of great power, but it was perhaps very much revealed that in the Ippo fight, Ozma over-relied on that power. So despite Ozma having incredible punching power, he wasn't necessarily a well-rounded boxer. Perhaps a better boxer than Ippo, but that's not really a flex at this point in the series. So Ippo's first fight in this tournament was against maybe the hardest puncher in the entire tournament. So Kenta Kobashi was in a lot of ways a first for Ippo. Ippo had some experience with good outboxers in the form of sparring with Miyata, but in my opinion, his fight with Kenta was Ippo's first real taste of being completely outclassed. You see, unlike Ippo's other opponents besides Miyata, who was only a sparring partner, Kenta's biggest weapon was not his power, it was his mind. Kenta might not be able to take or give the hits required to win a fight, but he has the skill and the mentality to win a fight. Originally, Kenta was terrified of fighting Ippo, and it makes sense. Ippo had destructive power on another level. Kenta was able to avoid Ippo's aggression by using his cross-arm block, his jabs, and his clinches. But the most impressive thing about Kenta Kobashi is his understanding of what he had to do in order to win. A major part of any battle is understanding yourself and understanding your opponent. Kenta had a great understanding of himself and his own limitations, and he went out of his way to thoroughly study Ippo. Kenta was inches away from winning this match by points. Unfortunately, Kenta grew a pair of balls at the exact wrong moment. For the first time since we've met this guy, he landed a powerful punch which gave him the confidence to think, I'm gonna win by KO. That is not what happened. If Kenta stuck to the plan, he would have won, but unfortunately, main character bullshit. Thankfully, this was only a minor setback for Kenta's career. He didn't get seriously injured from the fight like some other guys. Kenta even went on to win the JBC Junior Featherweight Championship, I believe. But I definitely think he should have won that Ippo fight. He was really just robbed for the plot. But what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. In my last video on Hajime no Ippo, we covered Kenta Kobashi, a major overachiever. Before Kenta's match with Ippo, nobody thought Kenta had a chance, but he was able to prove the haters wrong, nearly ending Ippo's journey to becoming Rookie King early. But as Ippo got deeper and deeper into the tournament, his opponents only got stronger and stronger. And low-key, Hayami might have been the best boxer in the whole tournament. If we're talking about outboxers in early Hajime no Ippo, there's perhaps none better than Hayami. You could make an argument for Miyata or maybe even Kobashi, but I don't know, man. Hayami was on some different shit. The guy had excellent footwork, he might have been faster than Miyata, and I believe in his amateur career he had 56 matches, 56 wins, 0 losses. And Hayami was just a fucking inboxer killer. Even if you somehow survive his left upper, he's gonna hit you with the fucking shotgun. So yeah, Hayami isn't like Ippo's other opponents. So, you know, when your opponent is the outboxer killer who kills all of his opponents with that left upper, it makes sense that Ippo would train for the left upper. So obviously, when Ippo fights Hayami, he just does his best to survive the shotgun, waiting for the left upper to come. As you can guess, his strategy fell apart pretty quickly when Hayami did not throw the left upper. And you would think this would be the end of the story. Hayami got past Ippo's strategy. Hayami was simply the better boxer. In fact, Hayami was so confident in his own ability that he decided, I'm going to infight you, Ippo. It seemed to be working for Hayami at first, but Hayami just didn't understand that Ippo is that guy. Despite Hayami's ego, he's no dumbass and he quickly goes back to outboxing. However, of course, Ippo is that guy. And he gets Hayami in the corner, forcing him into a position where Hayami must use the left upper. Hayami and Ippo hit each other at the same time, but Ippo had done enough damage to take out Hayami's legs. And after all of this, Hayami was still dodging Ippo's punches, waiting for just the right moment to use that shotgun. But hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right. Without Hayami's lower body working, he can't fucking use the shotgun properly. Ippo then reveals why he's next level and starts dodging the shotgun. Just to be clear, Ippo noted that the shotgun was still fast. So, for all we know, this could be as fast as his normal shotgun, just without the normal power of his shotgun. This man is not human.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
I want you to look at this image very closely and just acknowledge it. Because that uppercut didn't just end the match, it ended Hayami's chances of being great. Hayami was pegged to be the next prodigy, the next superstar of Japanese boxing. He was a favorite to win the entire tournament. But in a cruel twist of irony, he lost to an uppercut. An uppercut that gave him a glass jaw and ruined his boxing career. But that's gonna end the story of this video. I wanna know what y'all think of Hayami and just this whole fight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. The Rookie King tournament has shown us a wide variety of amazing boxers, from infighters with devastating hooks like Ozma, to infighter killers with surprisingly fast hands like Hayami. But it was obviously set up from the start that the finale of the tournament was going to be Miyata versus Ippo. All Miyata had to do to get to the final was beat Mashiba. But how hard could that be? Mashiba's no slouch, but Miyata is just next level.
Personally, I think Miyata's going to win this match. He is the better boxer.
I'm rooting for Miyata too. Talent-wise, he's a cut above Mashiba in every aspect of the game, including speed and technique.
Come on, guys, really? Did you think Mashiba was gonna win this fight? He might be scary, but look at him. He's terrified of this 5'0" guy. Miyata is simply the better boxer. He can't lose this. I mean, come on, guys. Mashiba is mentally unstable. He's got weaknesses in his guard. He's not good against infighters. He's over-reliant on his hitman style and his flicker jab. I mean, how far was this scaredy cat gonna make it into the tournament, really? I mean, just look at Miyata. There's no way he's gonna... As I was saying, Mashiba is my GOAT, and he's the greatest boxer in Hajime no Ippo. He has no flaws whatsoever. While I do think that Miyata is easily the better boxer compared to Mashiba, Mashiba is one of my favorite characters, despite his cheating and his gnarly antics, to be frank. There weren't a lot of characters in the show who would get really nasty in order to win at this point, so it's pretty cool to see a character like Mashiba. I also quite enjoy how Mashiba has pretty apparent weaknesses, but he's able to get around them through his power, his reach, his height, or just his cheating. Ippo was the better boxer, and he was able to beat Mashiba and become the Rookie King, but it is very impressive what Mashiba did. I do think Mashiba is kind of on fraud watch for only being able to contend with guys like Miyata or Ippo when he's fighting dirty. But Mashiba's record speaks for itself. The guy is a monster. But I guess this is kind of the conclusion to my talking on the Rookie King tournament. I guess we'll just move on to the next arc, or maybe we'll talk about opponents before the Rookie King tournament, like Oda, I think his name was. But you guys should let me know what kind of video you guys want next, and I'll try my best to follow through on that. Okay, bye guys.